Can you hear me okay?
Ooh, gosh, sorry, that was very loud. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon on this session on the power of small changes, enhancing your online presence 1% at a time. My name's Beth Gilleran, Customer Success Manager at Reputation. Reputation specialise in online reputation management alongside social and customer experience management as well. We're really thrilled to be sponsoring this session this afternoon. And of course, when we were asked by AM Live to actually speak today, we of course took the opportunity, but thought actually what better than to have one of our own customers join us on stage to talk you through their journey. So I'm very pleased to introduce to you today Amber Andrews of Jardine Motors Group. Amber, over to you to say hello.
Hi everyone, I'm Amber Andrews and I've been with Jardine Motors Group for 4 years now. My main areas I'm looking after is PPC, third-party advertisers, and reputation is a big part as well of what we're looking in our digital team after. And reputation is one of our best providers and partners that we have.
That's nice.
Thanks, Amber.
Hello everybody, I'm Pete Barry. I'm an account director at Reputation. I've been in the tech space for about 16 years, there or thereabouts, but I've spent the last 6 years at Reputation, various different roles, but predominantly working with the automotive sector. So I've worked alongside the likes of Lucky's, Arnold Clark, JCT 600, more recently of course, Jardine, alongside the digital transformation. So super excited as always to be in the room with like-minded people today to share some thoughts, and even more excited to hear more from Amber as we go through the presentation. Next slide, please. Just a bit of context setting, I guess, in terms of what it is that we do as a business at Reputation. Like Beth alluded to at the start, we are an online reputation management platform. We're a software business, effectively. Formed back in 2006, Silicon Valley business. I've been, like I say, with the business for 6 years, where I've seen exponential growth based on predominantly the automotive sector. You know, we specialise in a lot of verticals with the solutions that we sell, but the automotive sector for us is absolutely the cornerstone of what it is that we do globally. Effectively, what we help the automotive business do is manage that customer journey from acquisition all the way through to loyalty. And as a modular platform, we have many different modules which enable us to be able to facilitate this. Now, this isn't a sales pitch, so you can see the modules that I've got on the slide here. I'm not going to be going through all these today. What's more interesting is to understand how Jardine have utilised the solutions that they've taken on board. Actually, I think it's probably more pertinent to point towards the left-hand side of this loop here, which is effectively the acquisition side. There are bits that Jardine have done on the right-hand side from a CX perspective, but for today's purposes, that's where we'll be focusing our efforts. I'll move over to yourself then, if that's okay, Amber. If you cast your mind back to 2001 and the objectives that Jardine were looking to try and achieve, what would you say was the primary objective when it comes to looking for a supplier which can provide you with online reputation management and CX software?
Right, so let's start with history. Before that, when I joined Jardine in March 2020, that was literally just before COVID. I joined, 2 weeks, everyone's gone. So we were really focusing on bricks, not that much on clicks. And what we noticed that our online presence was only, let's just respond to a couple of reviews if we have time for. Let's, just make sure that it's a bit tidy in terms of what we have on listings, but it's never been a big focus. And when I joined, start looking into that a bit more in detail, and when we start seeing sheer volume of attention, impressions, and everything that our listings actually get, we realized, that's an area we really need to start looking and focusing much, much more in depth. And I also realized that we are doubling our efforts. So digital marketing, we're looking at responding reviews and making us look nice and pretty. Meanwhile, customer service, we're running our surveys and doing all the business improvements piece. And sometimes we were just not talking to each other. And we send our inquiry to dealership and saying, look, we have a problem online. And they were like, why are you asking us? We already sorted it out. It's like, okay, so we don't have that visibility and two different areas not talking. Hence, we were looking for a platform where we can see everything, all our customer interactions in one place. And from there, having that platform and having that visibility, having that data on top of it, and how in depth we can actually go and understand our customers we realized how much we can actually do with it. So we start looking into listings as a much more prominent communication and even customer support platform, because we don't realize how many touch points we have before that bricks actually tick in. Before customers actually come to our dealerships, they visit us on social, which used to be my area as well, on the listings, on Google My Business, everywhere. So that visibility was a key. So we started looking to make sure that our information is accurate, that we actually support customers there. So we give them answers before they ask those questions. We want to be available, we want to be easy to find, we want to be attractive to and look good. We start looking at our reputation, it was like, oh, okay, there's a lot of work to do. And I'm glad that we now have a partner who helps us to go plow through that hard work. And once we've seen the volume, we realize opportunities that we have in terms of SEO. I don't know how much of you marketers here in the audience and how much they spend on agencies doing local SEO, PPC and everything else. Meanwhile, we have listings that just sitting there with a bit of love and attention. They actually will bring you a good bottom line, and we will show that in our slides in the future, further on. So that SEO piece of local listings is actually a big thing, and it's a relatively easy return on investment. Putting effort, and we're not outsourcing, we're doing everything in-house. Amazing Oliver out there said, I'm going to embarrass you in front of everyone, so if you ever have questions, he's actually our in-house expert of local SEO, so please do approach him later. And our visual online presence, we are boasting, you know, automotive is very visual business. We have amazing cars, we want to show them, and we don't do that on our listings. I looked at some of the ones we had, some of the images are taken by customers with their mobile phones in a horrendous light, and 8 years old. And you know, our brands are already changed, our name changed, lots of things happened since then. So now we're having a storefront project, we call it, where we're actually like crawling through every single bit online where you can find us and making it look good and consistent. And reputation is really significant partner in this.
That's great. Thank you so much, Amber. So you've obviously spoken a little bit there about listings, but we also appreciate that reviews are a very big, important part of online reputation management as well. How do Jardine Motors handle the volume of reviews that you are receiving on a daily basis, and who is responsible for maybe responding to those customers?
To click on. Thank you. Technology, not my forte. So scale is everything. We have 50 sites at the moment that we're looking after. So you can imagine amount of sales and amount of vehicles we sell and amount of reviews we get on the back of it. So managing that in scale, in the past good old days before you, it used to be manual work. Every marketing manager used to respond it manually themselves. What we now can do with having reputation on board is we set a lot of automation. Automation to, for example, if it's a positive review, 5 stars, there's not much you can say. You can say thank you, appreciate, and have personalization. We definitely have personalization in our responses. But you can see by our numbers before, 73% of responses, especially for those negative ones that I feel like needs more love. It's opportunities to get those customers retained and come back to us and give us that feedback that we really need to improve. Now we are very, very proud of our 99%, 97% response rate, and to all fairness, I still want more. So 100% possibly will be for our next year as a target. So it's a mix where it sits at the moment. It is digital marketing area, reviews, but we have support from our divisional marketing teams as well. It really depends on the brand, which one we're working with. So scale is one thing, but also we want to make sure that we have that personalization in place. So what new thing that you guys delivered in your platform was AI responses. Oh boy, that made Oliver's life easier. Because although we do have automation, we do aim as well to have that personal touch. So we want to say, we want to greet by their first name. We want to show them that we read and we understood what exactly they said in their review. But same time, I can imagine after like repeating, responding, you just lose that drive, you just lose that attention. So what AI helps us to do at the moment, it just drafts us something, then we can just add our personal touch still. And if you look, let's say at the beginning of the year, you will see that our response is more or less the same. Like, definitely you can see it's a cookie cutter responses. Now they are varied, they are personalized, they are much more human touch. Even actually it's AI that is helping us to respond. But that personal touch definitely makes a change, like how we look online, how we feel online, because we do want to look like a business who reads, understands, and is approachable.
I guess as well, when you think about the volume of the reviews that you are getting, the time to respond extrapolates, obviously. The more locations you have, the more reviews you've got coming in. The review response technology you had previously, via Reputation, of course, cut that time down, but have you seen more of a difference again in terms of the time that's now spent when it comes to responding to reviews when you've got the AI technology?
Yeah, absolutely. We had quite ambitious goal to respond to all our reviews within 24 hours and 48 hours if it's a negative review, because we reach out to dealerships. We do want the site managers to actually give us a unique comment what exactly situation is, and to address issue rather than avoid it. At the moment, I feel like it's definitely helped us in terms of that scale and responding to those reviews rather than taking, half of Oliver's time. Yeah. We actually have enough time to respond to them and be more proactive, which is the big help in terms of that support in my team.
Cool. And where do you focus your efforts when it comes to responding to reviews? Which sources typically would you look at?
Biggest effort is that personalization, and to have that response long enough and empathetic enough. Yeah. We do work a lot for customer service team and try to learn from them and train that language. It's the language that you need to learn. We digital, we are efficient, we go straight to the point, right? But sometimes you have to have that empathy, you have to have that nice and soft touch. AI is really good. It's a bit American, so it doesn't speak the British empathy, but we do add our touch, and that shows now, and I can definitely see, reading my responses and what my team says, I'm actually happy with those.
Right.
And same is with scale in terms of like how many platforms we can reach. In the past, it used to be hit and miss. We, like for example, likes of Car Gurus, you just go there, because it's like volumes terms. In terms of volumes, we're talking here about like handful of responses in reviews in a month. So it used to be hit and miss. Maybe we visit, maybe we don't. Maybe we remember to visit that platform or not. Now, when visibility and everything is all on one dashboard, we know every time we get notification in our email when we need to actually react to something. So having that all in one platform is super helpful. And what is super helpful and why it was Reputation in the first place, because you are quite attuned to automotive industry. So not many providers out there were actually having direct integrations with AutoTrader, which we feel is one of our most important storefronts that we want to look into. So, and I don't know if you guys know, like AutoTrader will be even more prominent in terms of reviews. From next month, they are scrapping all the old reviews, and everything that will come new only will be visible, and that's a challenge for us at the moment. That's something we need to look into, and I know we talked about with you, Beth, about having a bit even more integration and syndicating those reviews into AutoTrader, not just Google. I know that Google at the moment is 90%, 95 maybe even % where our reviews at the moment set. But all those little platforms out there, definitely important. Trustpilot, if you look, for example, your company name and Trustpilot or reviews or so on, in SEO and the search page, it will be very prominent. So you can't really ignore it. You have to be friends with them. Yelp reviews are being pulled. Even if you would say, who cares about Yelp? You have to care about Yelp because Bing pulls Yelp's reviews. And Bing is becoming more prominent in terms of search engine and so on. So, okay, now we have to love Yelp as well. And then we just had conversation here, a session before, about Indeed and Glassdoor and how important it is to maintain your good presence in terms of attracting talent. So it's not now just customer service that sits in the platform. It's not just us that sit in the platform, digital marketeers. It's actually also HR. They sit in the platform, they look at their reviews, they respond to those reviews because they want to maintain that good presence online. And to all fairness, that's interesting to see. They actually take insight from our reviews and what customers say about us, and that informs their training programs. So there's a lot of use cases in terms of what you can do with that data, because that's customer voice, isn't it? The only challenge that we have now with Facebook, and we scrapped Facebook reviews, we disabled them across all our social platforms. I don't know if you can see in that small text. If you're interested, there's a mobile phone, please do call them. They suggest, to save, to give you amazing income. So a lot of spam going in, and that's nothing you can really work with. Obviously, we're grateful for 5 stars that they always give, but you can't report them, and it doesn't look good when you have them on your review platforms. So that's a challenge that we had, and we decided to say goodbye to Facebook as a review source.
That's interesting. So you mentioned actually when you were talking about reviews, and we could talk about reviews all day, we all know the importance of what it is to get good reviews and to be able to respond to them, the impact that that has on local SEO. Another big factor, of course, that comes down to local SEO is how you manage business listings and the importance around that. How do you see the importance of effectively managing your business listings on the likes of Google and Bing, Apple Maps, which is obviously becoming more prominent? What's the importance to you at Jardine, and how do you go about managing it?
So in the past, I used to always look at business listings as, right, people will just click, for phone number or for directions. That's all they want, that's all they care about. But what we realized, that people ask questions because it's something on the fingertips, like it's if they look for our company and location name, we will be hopefully on the first page. And that's where they will not go to our social media channels. They will not call us if they don't feel like. They will ask that question there and now. And we were not managing them. You can see in one of the numbers we had like 359 questions that we had asked across all our channels that we didn't answer to because we didn't have that visibility. We didn't really worry about it. You won't go to 50 sites separately and each time check if somebody asks something. We do get notifications from Google, but it's not the same, is it? So now having that listings module where we can actually have a look what answers we have, we get notification instantly, Oliver's on it, and then we are there, we're answering those questions. So once we stopped doing the reactive stuff and answer to questions, we were like, okay, what can we do next? How about we serve those answers before they even ask? Because it's always the same questions. We see them on socials, we see them on those platforms as well. We always more or less always know what they ask. So we start proactively uploading those questions and Q&A sessions there. And you can see, like our response rates become much, much better, and we are really happy. And if you look like what we can actually do with the listings module, so we're not only uploading questions that we want to serve for customers. One of the things as well in terms of like looking after customers is adding that rich content. What services we have, when are we open, what cars we have on site. We're really looking forward for that as well to roll out with Google. All sorts of rich content that whatever Google has an option, now we can actually feed in. So we're looking at attributes. Are we like, for example, I don't know, disabled friendly? Do we have mixed gender toilets? All sorts of things like that. People do ask, people look at, and we can actually do that from one platform, one push, and it's everywhere. So it's super, super friendly, and that makes big impact in terms of like how our listings look like. Richer, better, actually user-friendly. Because what's the point of the listing? To be that user-friendly, to be that information source. We did see a dip of visits on our website. It means people find everything on the listing. They don't go anymore to our dealership pages. So that's a slight downside, but as long as it does the job and we actually get those clicks for directions, calls, and visits, I think it's a win-win. And that inspired us to look not only in Google. So if you see, we're trying to have a consistency across all platforms. So we're looking quite actively into Bing, Google, Apple Maps. Google obviously is like our primarily one, but same time that your platform allows us to push into our social media channels. So for example, Facebook and so on, exactly the same information. So if you find opening hours in one site, they will be exactly the same, accurate and consistent across all sites. We do have challenges with tracking because we track separately for each channel, have different tracking numbers and tracking UTMs. So that used to be a big challenge for us. So I really thought I will lose Oliver because he used to spend a lot of time fixing Bing. I don't know how many of you had that challenge to actually deal with Bing. It's a challenge, and to actually like make sure that they don't merge, because Bing is crowdsourcing, so you used to always go to our website and pick the phone number that they decided it's best for us. And I was like, no mate, this is the number. You have to go again and again and again. So what platform allows us now is just like, Oliver gets up in the morning while he drinks his coffee, he has a look, you know, all good. Everything is still as it should be. If something is wrong, he adds it, push it, goes live, happy days. Yeah?
So I think, Amber, then it would be really useful to understand then maybe what kind of results you've seen as a result of obviously using the listings, getting the accuracy there, and obviously pushing across all of those valid sources, Google, Facebook, Bing, etc.
Right. So we are super, super proud that at the moment our accuracy in terms of all the listings, all the areas that we're looking at is really high. So you can see before and after. Before that, when it was just a manual work and effort from a team, I'm not even talking about hours of patience and our time saved. I'm also talking about having that accuracy also allows us to work with algorithms better. So what we noticed that now we're actually much better ranking in all the listings that we have. So not only accuracy, but if you look at our local SEO rankings, at the beginning of this year, almost 81% only of our listings were actually in the first position. When you go on Google Maps, for example, you know, and you're on the side, you can see all the local businesses. So there's two things that actually impact that. It's like your proximity to that business or quality of the listing. We can't control proximity of our customer, but what we can control is the quality of the listing. So that's where our effort now goes to, and that's why we're doing all this fantastic work in the back end. And if you see, we are quite proud of that 92% now, when 92% of our listings actually always ranks first. So we are much more visible. And what does that mean? Impressions. So we have 15% month-on-month increase of people actually seeing our listings. So it means we are much more prominent in the market, and that means that we can actually get more of those clicks, more of the directions, and people visiting our website on the back of it as well. To all fairness, if you looked in PPC world or in all SEO world, you would bite a hand for 15% raise, you know, because that's money, right? That's a lot of money you need to spend to get that kind of thing. Meanwhile, this is just tidying up, some housekeeping. And what does it mean into our bottom line? So it brings us leads. So if you see when we were doing things manually, when we're not really doing that much of that effort, we still got leads, don't get me wrong, but now we actually get decent amount of leads, and it's definitely paying off in terms of effort. And we still have Oliver. He doesn't want to leave us because it's much easier. So if you add also, you know, our time as monetary value, that also adds up a lot. So not only leads, but also our time and more love for digital.
Fabulous. Thanks so much, Amber. That's been really insightful and hopefully proven to the audience here the importance of your online presence, both in the sense of listings and also reviews. We're obviously fast approaching the end of 2023. Really interested to hear from you, Amber, in terms of maybe what Jardine Motor Group's priorities are for next year or future years for customer experience and online management.
Even more personalization. There's definitely, hopefully, we're going to finish with increasing our online presence. By the end of this year, we should finish our big project and everywhere should be already sorted out of that housekeeping thing. Next year is all about personalization, making sure that we speak brand language for each different visitor. So if you visit our Ferrari site, we will speak in Ferrari language. If you visit our Audi site, we'll speak in Audi language. So a lot of that attention there and a bit more agility.
Sounds good, sounds good. The final question I was going to ask then, if you had kind of your single biggest learning of your kind of CX and online reputation management journey since partnering with Reputation to give to the audience, what would you say?
I would say persevere. At the beginning, you will put all that effort and love, but you will not see that great result. There is a bit of that slight lag in terms of when the algorithms pick up your effort. So take your time, persevere, and do what you think. Put yourself in the customer's shoes. Look at your listing and think, if I was a customer and I wanted to find my business, what would I think of? What questions would I ask? What images I would like to see? Do I want to see where I'm going to park? Do I want to see how our waiting area looks like? If I get nice coffee and things like that? Because those little things do add up into that experience that you actually extend online. So it's not just bricks. Make sure your bricks are very visible in clicks.
Amazing. Thank you very much. So hopefully you all found that really insightful today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're interested in visiting the Reputation stand, we are C50. But obviously a huge thank you to Amber today for joining us on stage and sharing your story with us. Thanks, Amber.
Thank you, everyone.